Welcome to Continental Championship Wrestling, home of the National Wrestling Alliance, featuring champions from throughout the continental United States. And now to your host, world-renowned wrestling commentator, Gordon Soley.
Thank you. Thank you so very, very much, and welcome once again to another hour of Continental Championship Wrestling. As we told you, of course, last week, this week we're bringing you a one-night round-robin tournament for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. And that promises to be something very, very exciting indeed. You're going to be seeing such men as Steve Armstrong in action. Also, we'll be seeing some newcomers to Continental Championship Wrestling. We were told about them last week by Kevin Sullivan. I'm referring, of course, to the Headhunters. And I have a most interesting interview coming up later on with Kevin Sullivan. You'll be seeing Roy Lee Welch in action, Dr. Tom Pritchard, Wildcat Wendell Cooley, Jerry Stubbs, and many, many more. All of this upcoming. Right now, though, we're set for our first match regarding the Alabama tournament. So let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Thank you, Gordon. All the Alabama tournament matches except the final one are one fall with a 10-minute time limit. At 240 pounds, this is the Masked Raider, the Masked Raider. And now entering the ring from one of wrestling's most famous families, here is Steve Armstrong. Steve Armstrong. Your referee is Gene Williams. One fall, 10.
Steve Armstrong moving out against the Raider. Armstrong in the red trunks coming off the ropes. Both men coming away from the ropes, and it's the Raider dropping to the canvas. Armstrong up and over his man. Good counter by Armstrong. Armstrong up with a high drop kick that just grazed the shoulder of the Raider, but when he saw what was coming, he tried to duck backwards. That grazed him. He was off balance, and that finished him off, and he went ahead and went out of the ring, trying to break the momentum of Steve Armstrong. The Raider. A boot to the midsection. Reversal by Armstrong. Armstrong brings him up. Full body slam. The Raider into those ring ropes once again. The referee separating them. Excellent officiating here as he is making sure that both men understand. No pulling of the trunks or tights. Full arm drag and twist now by Steve Armstrong. Armstrong caught on the eyes, and now the Raider catches him. Clubbing right hand to the side of the head. Headbutt that staggers Armstrong backwards. Snapmare takes him to the canvas. The Raider using that fist very effectively. Off the ropes once again. Armstrong time to tie him up. The Raider using that right hand, and he's been using it with somewhat reckless abandon, I must say. Armstrong powers out before the count. Irish whip off the ropes, and Armstrong caught him. He planted that size 12 right in his shoulder. Uncorks a hard right hand. Off the ropes, the back of the elbow. Got him very effectively. And twist once again by Steve Armstrong. The Raider scores very effectively with brings him up now, utilizing that top ring rope, and Armstrong has some problems. Looked like he was going to do a standing fireman carry, then broke him down off the top rope. Irish whip misses. Armstrong connects with a hard right hand. Armstrong scores again. Behind his man. Tried for a rolling reverse, but the Raider messed him up. Got him with a lariat coming off the ropes. Got a 3 count. He got the 3 count. And for the official word, let's turn it over to our ring announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this Alabama tournament match in 4 minutes and 13 seconds, Steve Armstrong. Steve Armstrong, the winner.
Steve Armstrong winning his preliminary match in this round-robin tournament for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. We obviously are not going to bring you every single match simply because of the time frame. However, we're going to bring you as many as we can, including, I hope, the finals. And that's the one, of course, that everybody's interested in, because the man who wins the Alabama Heavyweight Championship is automatically in line for a shot at the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Well, there's one man that had some very interesting comments about this Alabama heavyweight tournament. I talked to him earlier in the dressing room, and here's the way the conversation went with Kevin Sullivan.
In the years that I have known Kevin Sullivan, he's always been a foremost competitor, a man who doesn't back away from anything. And yet, you sent word for me to join you here in the dressing room, and you said, you're not going into the tournament?
I'm withdrawing right now from the Alabama State Wrestling Tournament for one reason. You see, Gordon, last week I took the big bird and I flew to Ipoh, Malaysia. And I went into the cave temple searching for the seafood. And when I smelled the incense and I heard the chant, I came and he was sitting there and all his 400 pounds of glory, sweating, understanding knowledge that not many Americans know. You see, he has knowledge that has been given to him from the cosmos, from the Dalai Lama himself, was passed to the Sifu, who told me this: do you really want to be the champion of Alabama? A state, a minute state in America where nothing of any significance has ever come from. And the seafood, after he threw the bones, looked up at me and said, "Roll, Sullivan, roll."
Well, his point is abundantly clear. Obviously, he is not going to be in the tournament. Interesting things remain, I'm sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next Alabama tournament match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Perfect at 240 pounds. Here's Jerry Stubbs. Jerry Stubbs. His opponent, one of the most popular young wrestlers in the country, meet Brad Armstrong. Brad Armstrong.
Armstrong moving out against Jerry Stubbs. One fall, 10-minute time limit. Another in the Alabama Heavyweight Championship Tournament. A one-time round-robin tournament. Both men wearing orangish trunks. Say really red trunks. Jerry Stubbs now with the head scissors on Brad Armstrong. So, Mr. Sullivan said he was not going for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. Interesting observation. I have to more or less accept what he said, because I know Sullivan's reputation as a fighter. He was known as the Boston Battler before he began his world journeys. Oh, good move by Stubbs. Good spin under takedown by Jerry Stubbs on Brad Armstrong. Stubbs is as dangerous an adversary as you'll find anywhere. Armstrong back to his feet. Stubbs circling his man, watches him carefully. They lock up. Good side headlock now by Brad Armstrong. Stubbs, I think, got a little extra leverage that time. Referee down there checking him. Stubbs denying it, of course. Up against those ring ropes. Now the referee calls for the break. Stubbs, cheap shot on the break. Ooh, Stubbs drove one into the midsection. One to the side of the jaw. Has Brad Armstrong to the canvas. Brad Armstrong jammed into that turnbuckle. Stubbs very much in control right now. Stubbs down across his man. Again, Brad Armstrong barely powering out. Headbutt by Stubbs has Brad Armstrong staggered again. And Stubbs drives a hard right hand into that prefrontal lobe. Armstrong coming up very slowly. He's been staggered, no question about it. Belly to back suplex, and that may be all she wrote for Brad Armstrong. Lateral press. He's got a foot on the ropes. Stubbs trying to set him up. High verticals. Beautiful block by Brad Armstrong. Stubbs tries to set him again. Stubbs then goes for a outside cradle, and then it was Armstrong with an inside cradle. Armstrong fires to the midsection of Jerry Stubbs. Caught him perfectly coming in. Armstrong set and ready, and let's fly again. Now the tide of this battle is turned. Off the ropes, and it was Armstrong catching him. Stubbs into the ropes, and he's in a lot of trouble now. Brad Armstrong has definitely got it going his way. A beautiful drop kick by Brad Armstrong. And wait a minute, Kevin Sullivan came in there, and Stubbs tried to catch it. Wow, caught him with something. Look at there. Stubbs putting something in his trunks. Obviously putting something away. And he put Brad Armstrong away for the count. But it certainly appeared to me that he was putting something back in his trunks. Very easily could have been a set of brass knucks. Difficult to tell, but Brad Armstrong sure went down like a felled ox. No question about that. Well, let's get the official word from our ring announcer.
In a time of 5 minutes, the winner of this tournament match, Jerry Stubbs. Jerry Stubbs, the winner.
Coming to Dozier, and that'll be on October 2nd. But right now, I want to talk to Kevin Sullivan and the former champion Jerry Stubbs, and I'm sure Mr. Sullivan can bring us up to date as to...
You might rub that in a little too much, you know. You see, Gord, when you talk to Jerry Stubbs about being former, there should be something else you should say. And soon to be champion again. You see, Mr. Stubbs was floundering in the sea of life. He reached on to a family that he thought could help him. But he reached on to a couple of members that were very weak. You see, this happens to be a whole bunch of families in this area. And it isn't just the Armstrongs I'm talking about. Let me ask you this, Mr. Soley. You know, sometimes a man makes one mistake in his life, and he pays for it for his entire life. Do you think Bob Armstrong, that one mistake he made one night And he gets up, and every morning he has to look at Brad Armstrong's face. Don't you wish you could get in a time machine and change that one night? Well, Brad Armstrong, if I see you any place around, I'll make your father's wish come true, because I'll eliminate you. And you see, Jerry Stubbs is now learning the Asian way. These men come from New Guinea. They come from where survival means you live another day. And it's getting now down to the final days. The line's clearly drawn. You're either on my side or you get terminated. Very easily, Mr. Sully.
Is there any way we could put them around here instead of directly behind me?
You see, Mr. Sully, I know...
nervous, Sully?
No, he is not nervous. I know Mr. Sully. He has been to their island and he has pollinated it. Believe me.
You know about...
In a moment, we're going to be seeing the headhunters in action. They have been brought in from New Guinea by Kevin Sullivan. I had an opportunity earlier, while talking to Kevin Sullivan about his refusal to wrestle in the tournament, he also seized the opportunity to introduce the headhunters. He has a rather interesting comment regarding them. Let's go to that previously recorded interview I had with Kevin Sullivan.
In his pursuit of the impossible dream, this man has traveled the worldwide several times looking for one thing in particular, and it looks to me like you found a pair in particular.
You know, Gordon, it's a funny thing that you use the word impossible dream. You know, that's what most Americans go for, an impossible dream. You know, the American dream. There's no such thing as an American dream. You understand? Everything is survival. And last week, I told you about eliminating competition completely. These men, the New Guinea headhunters, I traveled to New Guinea. I went to the jungles myself. I went through all kinds of susus. I saw everything that had to be seen. And the seafood again guided me, because I realized this. I told you the Asian way, and living on the other side of the world, the only thing, there's no such thing as competition, Mr. Sully. It's survival, and survival is eliminating the rest of your opponents. And you must see, it was less than 100 years ago that their ancestors, when they went off to battle and defeated the opponents, they feasted on their bodies. Cannibalism existed less than 100 years ago in New Guinea. And I'm not going to tell you that my men are cannibals, but they have a great collection of miniature heads. If you ever want to see it with me, I'm sure you'll enjoy it, because darkness also lives in your heart, Mr. Sully.
Well, we're going to see the headhunters in action very, very shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, this tag team event, one fall with a 15-minute time limit, now in the ring at a combined weight of 442 pounds. Here are Al Scott and Jim Barnett. Right here, Scott and Barnett. We're awaiting the arrival of their opponents, now entering the ring, led by Kevin Sullivan, making their first appearance on Continental Championship Wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, from New Guinea, at a combined weight of 495 pounds, the Headhunters. The Headhunters.
The Headhunters wasting no time as they attack Al Scott and Jim Barnett. That's Barnett in the red trunks being thrown from the ring. Al Scott now in the blue trunks being pummeled by both of these Headhunters. These Headhunters have an international reputation. Oh, brother. They just sent Scott right through the ropes. Kevin Sullivan out there lending a boot to the back. And the Headhunters have literally cleared the ring. Now they're rolling Scott back into the ring. High knee lift. Hey, I'll tell you what. They might be brutalizing their opponents, but they know where they're coming from in wrestling as well. Scott in a lot of trouble here as they double team on him. And the soles of their feet just like leather, I'll guarantee you that. They have Scott up again, another full body slam. Barnett has yet to, well, he's back over at his corner waiting to tag up if he can, but I don't think Scott's ever going to get over there to make the tag. Scott really being destroyed by the New Guinea headhunters. Caught him with the lariat coming off the ropes. And they just keep punishing him. Now this is their first time on top. They bring him over. They literally dragged him over to tag up with Barnett. Barnett. Well, Barnett is in pretty rough shape already. They have wasted no time on this man. They've got him up. There's that backward power slam, and they tag up. Over the top rope, using his head as a battering ram into the side of the rib cage. And it is all over for the team of Barnett and Scott. And the headhunters still aren't satisfied. They want to wreak even more punishment. Now Sullivan having to literally pull them off, as these men have all of a sudden almost gone out of control. And now as Sullivan has the one tone down, the second one is after Barnett and hurdles him from the ring. All right, they're getting him calmed down. And let's turn it over to Freddie Miller.
The time of 4 minutes and 10 seconds. There are your winners, accompanied by Kevin Sullivan, the Mystic. The winners are the Headhunters from New Guinea. The Headhunters.
Well, a rather auspicious debut for try and get these men under control now, Mr. Sullivan.
Mr. Soley, I'm going to make the ultimate challenge for the Tennessee Stud. I want a one-night tournament, and I don't want an American match. I don't want anything from the United States. I want a Singapore survival match, and I want it between 3 teams. My Headhunters in a survival match, let me tell you first, the only way the match can be stopped, an opponent has to go to the hospital. And I want the match against any of the Armstrongs and the 2 boys that haven't been cracking the whip, Jimmy Golden and Robert Fuller, because the Stud is so upset at his own brother.
Well, wait a minute. Wait just a second.
I got a little something here I want you to know, son. My brother sent me a telegram. He said, how is Mr. Stubbs doing? How's the Dr. Tom doing? How are you and Jimmy Golden doing with your title? He forgot to mention your name at all, Mr. Kevin Sullivan.
He didn't forget to mention my name, luscious and gorgeous, because I'm doing my job. I took the Bullet's mask off. I've created havoc here, and you haven't done anything that I see. You've let your brother down.
What are you talking about, baby? I ain't done it. Get that spoon out of my way, man. Get the spoon out of my way. You're going to be getting yours, you hear me? You're not even knowing that.
You know what it is? Let me tell you something, Jimmy Golden. He's just jealous, but he is going to pay. It's like Tiny's torture, brother. Yeah, it's like Vietnam all over again. I'm going to make you pay, and I'm going to make you suffer, and I'm going to put it on your head. When you lay down every night, you're going to see these faces.
Well, I'll tell you what.
I want to say one thing. This ungrateful slob, I'm just doing what his brother wants done.
Yeah, well, we'll be back. We'll be back in a moment. Coming in Knoxville, no question about that, and we certainly hope all of you make your plans to be at the matches when they do return to Knoxville. Freddie Miller has 3 principals involved that I think you'd be interested in hearing from.
Thank you, Gordon, very much. We're delighted to have with us Wildcat Wendell Cooley, and of course we're delighted to have Steve Armstrong and the Super Bowl of Tennessee. is coming Friday night, October 17th, 8:30 to the Civic Coliseum in Knoxville. And of course, I just want to mention some of the talent, men. You're familiar with them, I'm sure. The fans will love it. The New Guinea Headhunters will be in Knoxville. Sheik Abdullah will be there. Hustler Rip Rogers and his valet, Miss Brenda Britton, and a host of wrestling talent. Full details next week. Wendell, what about Knoxville, Tennessee?
Well, Knoxville, Tennessee, the 86th Super Bowl of Tennessee, that's going to be one of the biggest nights of professional wrestling in Knoxville, Tennessee. I'll guarantee you that, because on this sheet of paper right here, I was just looking there, Freddie, you got a lot of top contenders coming in that night. You got the New Guinea Headhunters, Sheik Abdullah, and Hustler Rip Rogers with his valet, Miss Brenda Britton. Well, I've crashed heads with Rip Rogers a few times myself. And I don't know much about these Headhunters or Abdullah, but the name will tell you right there. It speaks for itself, Freddie. So, people, if you hadn't got your tickets yet, go ahead and get them early, because it's going to be one heck of a night, I guarantee you.
We'll be adding names as we go along, but get them early. He's right. The Super Bowl of Tennessee. I can hear the fans outside just roaring when they heard these names.
That's right, brother. Super Bowl, it's a big thing coming to Knoxville on October 17th. In Barberville, Kentucky, we're going to be there. I believe it's the October 11th. Oh, no, it's the 16th, pardon me. But you know, these guys, the New Guinea Headhunters, I've seen them a couple of times, and brother, they're animals, I tell you that. I hope I got a man named Dr. Tom Pritchard. Brother, what you did on TV to Miss Linda a couple of weeks ago, that's not going to go unpunished, if you know what I mean, brother. This is coming upside your head, and maybe this too. It's all coming to you, brother. Pain.
Don't forget Whitley City, Kentucky on the 18th of October, and the night before. We'll see you in Knoxville for the Super Bowl. Ladies and gentlemen, this tournament match, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing first, in the ring at 225 pounds, here is Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard. We are awaiting the arrival of his opponent. His opponent in this tournament match will be the King of Wrestling, Roy Lee Welch. Gentlemen, at 224 pounds, the self-proclaimed King of Wrestling, Roy Lee Welch. One fall, 10-minute time limit.
Roy Lee Welch out there giving Dr. Tom Pritchard a hard time already. And Roy Lee suddenly got his crown knocked off. He was dethroned in a hurry. And it is Tom Pritchard after him. Roy Lee caught again. And Roy Lee backing away into the corner. Brother, this Pritchard will fight anybody. He'd fight a buzzsaw and give it the first 2 rounds. High backdrop by Pritchard. Roy Lee could be in a lot of trouble here. Roy Lee Welch, third-generation wrestler. Right now, I bet she wished she was back in the third generation somewhere, because Mr. Pritchard has been punishing him. Roy Lee staggers back, fires a right hand that misses. Pritchard connects with a boot to the chest. Ooh, a chop into the throat. Welch down and in a lot of trouble. Pritchard bringing him up. Roy Lee caught in a high vertical suplex. Roy Lee powers out before the 3 count, however. Pritchard drives one to the midsection. That jarred those 26 vertebrae. And one a solid boot into the femoris muscles. The knee into the side of the skull of Roy Lee Welch. Tom Pritchard has things very much under control. Manages to catch Pritchard at the belt line coming off the ropes. Roy Lee trying to turn things around. one fall, 10-minute time limit. This is another of the Alabama Heavyweight Championship Tournament elimination matches. If we have time remaining, we will bring you the finals. We won't be able to bring you every match, but we'll bring you as many as we can, hopefully including the final. Pritchard trying to gain some advantage there.
Gone by in this
has really moved in on Pritchard now. He has turned this around. Roy Lee crashes down and Pritchard rolls to one side. Roy Lee has shown that he can take it and dish it out as well. Roy Lee off the ropes, caught him with a forearm. That dropped Pritchard to the canvas, and it may be, no sir, it's not all over. Going for something, and it looks like Pritchard was going for something. Pritchard caught him. Well, evil begat evil that time. Indeed, evil did begat evil, and an interesting and unusual turn of events. Here's the official word.
In a time of 6 minutes and 5 seconds, the winner of this tournament match, Dr. Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard, the winner.
We had a situation occur here last week on Continental Championship Wrestling that was most unusual indeed. Something that you don't very often see in a wrestling ring, that's for sure. I might point out that coming out here right now, the Bullet, Steve, the Exotic Adrian Street, and Miss Linda. And gentlemen, which of you cares to speak first?
Well, we did have an incident happen here last week, and I believe we got some film that'll tell the whole story where Dr. Tom Pritchard came down, crossed my running light with some brass knucks, and then they took care of Miss Linda. We just want to see exactly what they did. We won't have to talk about it, Gordon.
Fair enough. Let's go back to that incident as it occurred last week when suddenly Tom Pritchard appeared on the scene.
And I don't like what I'm seeing. I said the whip that...
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Dr. Tom Pritchard was something that caught the Bullet from behind, and brother, he dropped him. He dropped him, and now the Exotic Adrian Street caught by Dr. Tom Pritchard.
Maybe somebody is listening to me, and maybe it's Mr. Pritchard. You see, what I say is extinction. Get rid of competition. Don't have competition.
Well, that's an interesting observation right now. The Exotic Adrian Street in a lot of trouble. Wait a second. Miss Linda started to come into the ring, and Tom... Oh, brother. Oh, no. No, this is beyond belief. And Pritchard exacting his toll, and this is despicable. This is absolutely despicable.
It's probably the first time she's had a real man, if you get my drift.
Oh, well. Pritchard planting a big kiss on Miss Linda. And now, brother, I'll tell you what. Steve Armstrong is exacting his own toll.
I've said it once today, and I'll say it again. If I have to crack the whip to get things done around here, I'm in the Tennessee Stud spot.
Well, sir.
We're going to take care of that Pritchard. There's no way he'll ever, but ever, lay his hands on Miss Linda again.
I'd understand that Steve Armstrong will be a second anytime you need him.
And that's the guy we want behind us. That Tom Pritchard pokes his nose in next time, we got Steve to slap his sloppy mouth back.
Fair enough. Thank you, gentlemen. There you have it. The Exotic Adrian Street Miss Linda, and, well, we've got a match in the ring, so let's go to the ring right now.
Thank you, Gordon. This match in the tournament, one fall with a 10-minute time limit. Introducing what started, Mike Headley is at 245, and his opponent is Kevin Sullivan. Headley versus Sullivan.
Sullivan wasting no time on Mike Headley, immediately jams him out of the ring, then jams his head into the timing table, uses that steel chair, and Sullivan wages war anywhere he wants to. Sullivan, 245 pounds across that abdominal wall. That took the wind out of Mr. Headley's sails. Sullivan wraps it up. We will be going next to the finals of the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. More than likely, we'll be joining that match in progress. But right now, here's our ring announcement.
In a time of 50 seconds, the winner, Kevin Sullivan. Kevin Sullivan.
CWF Wrestling coming to Barberville, Kentucky, and that'll be on October 16th. Thursday, October 16th at 8 p.m. Whitley City, Kentucky on October 18th. That's Saturday at 8:30. And Knoxville at the Civic Coliseum on Friday night, October 17th. The 86th Super Bowl of Wrestling of Tennessee. Biggest card of 1986. And before I talk to the newly crowned U.S. Junior Heavyweight Champion.
I like that.
Yes, indeed. I thought he would. Let's talk to the former champion first. Freddie?
We have several contenders for the big night, the Super Bowl of Tennessee, Gordon. Friday, October 17th.
Yeah, Super Bowl, Tennessee, Jack. K-Town, baby, my favorite town. I got my lady up. Buddy, get ready, baby, because after I get through whooping everybody's booty, we going out, son. Woo, daddy, with the horn frog and look here at the back there, baby. We're going to get down and do some partying. There's some new guys coming in. And you got to deal with the white boy. And I'm sure the bullet will be around there someplace.
I imagine he will. How about it, Tim?
Super Bowl 86, you can bet one thing, everybody here's going to be gearing up, and I guarantee you one thing, Roy Lee Welch, if you're anywhere around, you best be gearing up, because when I see you in K-Town, Jack, I'm going to be on you like flies on you know what, baby.
Well, he was out there with Gordon, so he's around. Steve, see you in Knoxville.
Got you, brother. Super Bowl of Tennessee coming to you, K-Ville.
Friday, October 17th.
Get ready, baby.
Well, are you going to give him a rematch or not?
Are you kidding, Gordon? I'm the champion. I have never turned down a challenge in my life. And Mr. Horner, I will not start now. Knoxville, anywhere you want it, mister, you got the match with me. This belt is going to remain around the king of wrestling, which everyone knows is me.
In other words, you don't mind Barberville or
I
Whitley?
don't care where it is, Mr. Soley. I'm the champion. I'm proud of it, and I'm the type of champion that'll put up my title against any and all comers that think they're good enough to meet the king of wrestling.
Well, we'll find out. Perhaps it will be in Knoxville. That'll be on October 17th. Well, into the match now with Stubbs and Wendell Cooley. The finals for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. Final match of this one-night round-robin tournament. And your two finalists, Jerry Stubbs outside the ring, Wildcat Wendell Cooley inside the ring, waiting for Stubbs to appear again. Well, Cooley wants the referee just to sit up there and notice what's happening. And the crowd loves it, but Jerry Stubbs sure doesn't. Stubbs considerably upset. And so Cooley blocking Stubbs' attempt to get over to the referee. They lock up, and it's Cooley exploding on Stubbs. Watch Cooley stalking his man, moves in, collar and elbow once again. by Cooley. And it was Stubbs missing with a wild swinging right hand. Cooley catches him a beautiful atomic knee drop. All of the marbles riding on this match. The Alabama Heavyweight Championship. This is the final match. Wildcat Wendell Cooley now with the armbar now on Chrome Dome Jerry Stubbs. These are the two finalists. The winner to receive the brand new Alabama Heavyweight Championship belt and an opportunity to go up against the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. An all-important match for both of these men. Referee Roy George backing Cooley away now. Stubbs always has a trick or two up his sleeve. Cooley, I'm sure, well aware of the reputation of the man. Sort of a little high neighbor there from Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Stubbs backing away, and Stubbs maybe just a little unnerved, or he may be trying to unnerve Cooley. Well, he unnerved him all right. Cooley exploded after he was slapped across the face. Stubbs going for something. And Stubbs caught Cooley cold coming in. He pulled something out of his trunks. Could have been a set of knucks, I don't know. And so things look pretty good for Jerry Stubbs right now. Cooley holding the side of his head. He went down like a felled tree. Stubbs outside the ring now with Cooley. Jamming Cooley into that steel ring chairs. Stubbs rather nonchalantly walking back into the ring. Cooley slowly coming around. Stubbs wanting the referee to start the count. The count is on now. And it's Cooley, and the count's broken. He brings him into the ring, a high vertical suplex. Cooley. He's got to be hurting. Notice he's got that hand down there around the lumbar section of the back. Lateral press. Cooley powers out, and Stubbs unhappy over the count. As we said, of course, this is the final match for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. The winner to meet NWA champion Ric Flair. A very critical match for both of these men. Jerry Stubbs in the red. Wildcat Wendell Cooley in the black, deep into this match. And it's Cooley caught again by Jerry Stubbs. And Cooley now, whoa, rocked again. But look at him coming back for more. Cooley catches it again, and his knees are rubbery. This time he hits the deck. And again, Cooley gets away from that 3 count. Cooley again powers away. Brother, the upper body strength on Wildcat Wendell Cooley is awesome indeed. Cooley coming back to his feet. I don't think Jerry Stubbs can believe what he's seeing. I'm sure he feels that he has got... Cooley catches him a good old-fashioned mule kick to the midsection. Cooley, a high knee lift that puts Stubbs to the canvas again. Well, Stubbs went to his bag of tricks one time and almost finished off Wildcat Wendell Cooley. I'll be curious to see if he tries it again. Deep into this final match for the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. Wildcat Wendell Cooley turning it on. Stubbs trying for a single leg pickup, and he got picked up instead. Stubbs backing away. Cooley closes in. Irish whip. High backdrop by Cooley. Jerry Chrome Dome Stubbs in trouble now, and the crowd is going wild. The Oklahoma Stampede, but with that rather slippery head of Jerry Stubbs, Cooley lost his grip. And look at Stubbs. Stubbs is going for something again. Stubbs digging into his trunks, concealing that fist, and he's caught by the referee. Cooley catches him. He got him. Cooley nails Jerry Stubbs, and he wins the Alabama Heavyweight Championship. That means he gets the shot at NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. A fantastic victory for Wildcat Wendell Cooley as he turns back Jerry Chrome Dome Stubbs. We do have indeed an Alabama champion in Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Let's get the official word.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the time of 11 minutes and 15 seconds, the winner of the tournament and the new Alabama state champion, Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Wendell Cooley, the champion.
Wrestling coming up in Barberville, Kentucky, October 16th, Thursday at 8 p.m. And in Whitley City, Kentucky on October 18th. And in Knoxville on the 17th. That'll be Friday the 17th, Knoxville Civic Center. Before I talk to these two gentlemen, however... Yeah, well, before I do that, gentlemen, I want you to hear these comments from friends of Freddie Miller.
Thank you very much, Gordon. Indeed they are. We've got Exotic Adrian Street, lovely Miss Linda, and the Bullet, ready for Knoxville and the Super Bowl of Tennessee, Friday, October 17th.
Well, we don't know for sure who we're fighting there at the moment, but we'll let them worry about that. We know who we hope it is, don't we, Bullet?
How about it, Bullet?
Exactly, we got a match plan. If we can get these guys, Robert Fuller and Jimmy Golden, to go for it, we know where we'll be in the '86 Super Bowl of Tennessee. Also want to say that Continental Wrestling is spreading out. We'll be in Barberville, Kentucky, Whitley City, Kentucky, and on October the 17th, the big Super Bowl. And, brother, they're bringing a lot of new guys. Abdullah the Butcher, the Headhunters with it, Mystic Kevin Sullivan. Everybody's going to be there, and you better know that Street, Miss Linda, and the Bullet will be on hand for the Super Bowl.
Back to you, Gordon.
Some interesting challenges.
I'm going to tell you something. We take them all, brother. We stand up against the wall and we take on all comers. They have sent them from all around the world, baby, to take these titles right here, and ain't nobody been able to do it. And then once it's been in the ring with us, it's thrown everything at us but the kitchen sink, brother, and we still standing right here with the titles. You know, they sent us out here and said, talk about how good you are. I said, they're going to need all night, man, to understand how good me and the luscious Robert Fuller are, brother. Listen, a lot of people wonder, where is Dr. Tommy at? Where's Tom Pritchard at? Well, I can tell you real quick, he's back. He's warming up his lips in case that broad comes down and wants a little more kissing, baby. He's going to be giving it to her. But besides that, baby, Knoxville, Peter Pan's going to be there with his Bullet and his Stevie, baby, and we're going to take care of him in Knoxville. Get ready for it.
Well, we'll find out on the 17th, that's for sure. We do indeed have a new Alabama heavyweight champion. It's Wildcat Wendell Cooley. Having defeated Jerry Stubbs, that means that Cooley gets a chance now at NWA World Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair. And by the way, brand new album just out. Shake, Wrestle, and Roll, the Exotic Adrian Street, along with the pile drivers, available at your arenas and favorite music stores everywhere. By all means, do join us again next week here on Continental Championship Wrestling. Till then, Gordon Soley saying so long.